Do Wisconsin residents in the St. Croix Valley area have access to enough local and state news? Well, a group of broadcasters didn't think so, so they put a new radio station on the air. Media commentator Michael Boyle joins us with a report on what they're up to.
Well, Cindy, you know, there are a group of communities in western Wisconsin that are almost entirely served by Twin Cities-based broadcast media. They have no Wisconsin television. Almost all their radio signals come from west of the river in Minnesota. Now, this new station is trying to fill what its management sees as a news, information, and local color gap.
The spirit of the St. Croix Valley is AM 74 WRPX Hudson. Good morning. Buds turn into good afternoon, and it's gonna be. If you just heard the weather, you know what kind of weekend we're headed for the Pepperfest in Hudson and Mastodon Days in Beldenville.
Hudson, Wisconsin's WRPX is striving for a strong local identity. The announcers consciously tailor their pattern to catch the ears of listeners who will recognize the place names and the frames of reference. In studios located less than a mile from the Minnesota border, the station stresses its Wisconsin connection.
We've got a lot of media that come from Minneapolis and St. Paul, a lot of it very good media, but decidedly Minnesota-oriented. I saw the need for a daily source of Wisconsin news, a daily source of local news, and a daily source of St. Croix Valley regional news, and that's what we attempt to provide.
That local news commitment is the centerpiece of the station's efforts. When he's not on the air, news director Gary Erickson is out pursuing stories of specific local interest. Morning announcer Greg Scott doubles as news editor, and the two combine to present an extended summary each day at noon. Occasionally, they break a big local story, subsequently covered by major Twin Cities media.
A large portion of western and northwestern Wisconsin, including all of St. Croix County, may be on top of a gigantic oil or natural gas rift line.
The natural gas story, for example, was picked up by KSTP-TV and reported on that evening's news.
No actual drilling has begun in Minnesota or Wisconsin, and at the present rate of exploration, it would take about 5 years before folks would actually see any natural gas or oil.
But beyond the major stories, the basic news product is aimed at a western Wisconsin audience.
Wisconsin Banking Commissioner William Dixon says most of the state's so-called problem banks are in small towns where a majority of the loans are made to farmers and small businesses. The commissioner talked to WRPX about that.
And in this community, the things that affect us every day are what's happening in our schools and what's happening in our legislature and what's happening with roads. These are things that the metropolitan area can't afford to cover. We can.
Music from Elton John. Sad songs, they say so much. On WRPX with the St. Croix Valley's best music, like this from Barry Manilow.
WRPX feels its familiar pop music format can attract Minnesota listeners, too. Their 500-watt AM signal and the strong 740 dial position gives the station metro area reach. But, like their Minnesota small station big market counterparts, getting needed major Twin Cities advertisers is a struggle conducted with optimism.
Locally, we're being accepted very well. It'll take a little longer for us to be accepted in the metro area as a way of reaching local people.
St. Croix County, Wisconsin is the fastest growing county in the state of Wisconsin, and there's a lot going on out here.
And besides, where else can you hear Brewers fans doing Minnesota jokes?
State of Minnesota changing the style of their license plates. Brand new license plates, red, white, and blue in color, and will feature a caricature of Minnesota Twins pitcher Frank Viola going into his windup.
Don't hear those kind of jokes here in town. In filling this local news gap, it seems like WRPX is an idea whose time has come.
I've often wondered about that here as we report our news that seems so Minnesota-based,
Right.
going out over the border. All right, thank you very much.